Go for it.
Good morning, everyone. This is Keith Bradford in Monroe, Louisiana. Just want to welcome you all to the Saturday AEGEA training call. It's my pleasure to introduce our first speaker, someone that I've known just a few months now. Actually, with many years ago, a brief encounter with him. I knew I was impressed with the young man then, had a lot of sharp. But since then, joining AEGEA with him, I did learn that this man has quite a bit to offer anybody in life, and certainly as a team player in AEGEA. This man, Frank Mueller, is from Central Florida. He's a former military, retired. He served our country in the military, is another great thing I know about him. And so he's had many years of success in business and in the military and so forth, but with some physical problems that came with this service in the country. But then in the network marketing industry, which we're a part of course, he has had tremendous success. And he is going to share from his heart today some of the things, if not each and every serious point that he knows is necessary to have the ingredients to make the right steps to be successful in AEGEA. And so I really would like to spend about an hour to introduce him, but to save your time, to give all the time to him to give you his message, help me welcome Mr. Frank Mueller. And
Well, I
Frank, please.
appreciate that, Keith. Hey, I really do. And, it's nice to come onto these calls and talk and help people out as much as I possibly can in the business. And you know what? You hit on something as we were talking just before the recording started, and that was about getting excited. Getting excited is extremely important in our business. Can you imagine going up to somebody and calling them and saying, "Hey, Fred, I'm using some product that seemed to do okay for me, and they told me if I told people about it, I'd make a lot of money. So I'm telling you." Now, what do you think Fred's going to say? Not much. He certainly ain't going to want to hear you at that point in time. So you got to get excited when you start doing things. And what's the second thing you got to do besides getting excited? After getting excited, you want to become a product of the product. You've got to use these products so you can start your own testimony. I've got a great one, but I know a lot of other people that have great testimonies too. And you've got to start them, and everybody can use our products. I don't care if they're young or old, if they're dilapidated like me and beat up and hurt and damaged, or if they're healthy and vibrant. All of our products are good for everybody. Certainly, maybe a product like the Burn, if you're in really good shape and you don't have to lose a few pounds, that one may not be for you. But we all want fresh fruit, so we'll have the AEGEA Freshest card. We'll all need to protect ourselves from EMF energy, so we're all going to have it on the back of the phone. We've all got to have a good cardiovascular system, and so we want that nitric oxide going in. We want any relief from aches and pains or sleep better at night, so the relief is fantastic. I could just go on and on and on. And the quantum card, my God, quantum card. It's always great to have that card, and if you don't have it, you need to get it. That's all I can say. And just become a product of the product. And if you do that, your testimony, your story will grow, and your belief in this business will grow at the same time. Now, third thing, and you've heard this before, and most of you won't do it, but I'm going to tell you, if you don't do this one thing, you don't have a business. You've got to make a list. Oh man, how many times have you heard that? But where does your list come from, especially today? It's not just something you write down on a piece of paper, although I've done that and I still do that to this day. But we all have contacts of people. Where do we have them today? We have them in our phones. Some people have hundreds of contacts in their phone, but those contacts won't do any good if you don't call them. And we're going to talk about that in a minute. We have them on our computers. We have them in our old-fashioned Rolodex or address books sitting on our desk. We've got them all kinds of different places, but so we need to consolidate them and make a list. Now, don't make that list for the next 6 months to a year and never call anybody. Start making that list, but start working on that list at the same time. And people want to know, well, how do I do this? Okay, I'm going to say something very simple. I'm going to just give you an example. I'm going to call Aunt Sally, okay? So here we are. Hey, Aunt Sally, are you having a wonderful day? Yeah, great. Hey, you know, Aunt Sally, I'm really excited about something I'm doing because, well, you know, the problems that I had that related to the military, you know, the really bad discomfort I've had in my back, and then not being able to sleep at nights and having some wild dreams and agitation during the day and all of that stuff, and couldn't be around people. You know about all that, right? Yeah. Yeah, I know you're sorry about that, but I found something that has absolutely worked for me, that I don't have those issues anymore. I mean, it has been absolutely awesome. And I wanted to share this information with you just because I care about you and I'm just excited. And I was wondering if you'd do me a big favor, Aunt Sally. If I sent you a little 4-minute video and a website, would you look at the information, review the products, and tell me what you think about them yourself? Because I just don't get them. I mean, I wish I could sit here and explain them, but I can't. Would you just look at that information for me and then tell me maybe in a couple of days what you think of them? Well, I appreciate that. Would maybe Sunday afternoon after church be good? All right. Well, if I'm really lucky, I'll be able to get a friend of mine maybe on the phone that knows a whole heck of a lot more about these products than I do, and has been very successful in the business. And well, anyway, I'll look forward to talking to you on Sunday afternoon. Take care. Thank you for your time. Bye-bye. Bye, Aunt Sally. That's what, less than a 3-minute phone call, wasn't it? Can you do that? Can you do that? That's all you got to do. That's all. And you may have different types of setups. It may not be a product testimonial like I did real quickly. It may be something totally different. But whatever is applicable in your situation to get them invited and excited to look at something for you. And you're asking them for a favor. People will do favors for you all day long. And you know what? People love to tell you what they think. So well, you're asking them for what they think. And you're asking them for a favor. So what do? You call Joe up. Hey, Joe, I'm going to need some help on Saturday afternoon with the 3-way phone call with my Aunt Sally. I told her about the use of the product and what it did for me. And she's going to look at that little 4-minute video and look at the site and tell me what she thinks of the product. And I'm sure she'll have some questions, and I can't answer them right now. Can you help me? Hey, I appreciate that, Joe. I really do appreciate your willingness to help me. I'll call you on Sunday afternoon about 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock, somewhere in between there. Is that okay? Yeah, great. Thanks, Joe. Talk to you then. Wow. Now I got a 3-way call set up. What did I do? I had one. I got excited. I used some product. I made a list. I did an intro call. And now I've got a 3-way set up. Now, the most powerful tool you have in your toolbox, and people won't use it. It makes no sense in the world to me why they will not use this tool, because it is absolutely free. It is powerful. It is third-party credibility will always be better than just your credibility, okay? So let's do a 3-way phone call to Aunt Susie. See how that goes. All right. I got Joe on the line. All right, Joe, hold on. I'm going to 3-way Aunt Sally in. Okay. Hey, Aunt Sally, this is Frank. How you doing? All right, fantastic. Well, I'm calling you back like I said I would on this afternoon. And by the way, I was lucky enough to get a friend named Joe on the line. He's been around quite a while. He knows a heck of a lot more about these products, and he's been very successful in the business too. And so I wanted to introduce him to you. Joe, this is my Aunt Sally. Aunt Sally, this is Joe. You know what your job is now? Be quiet. Shut up. Whatever you want to say. And listen and learn what Joe does and says. Joe's going to get on the phone with Aunt Susie. He's going to make a real quick report in 1 or 2 minutes, maybe make her laugh about something about you. Who knows? I've done that enough with other people in my downline. I know it works. It opens that person up a little bit. And then I relate what my story is, or Joe's going to, in this case, relate his story to my Aunt Susie. And I'm just sitting back and being quiet, listening, learning how he's doing it, and all of that. And then after he tells his story, then he's going to say, oh, Aunt Susie, I know that Frank sent you that little 4-minute video and a site to look at. What intrigued you the most about these products or business? Oh, so you see a real need for those EMF shields on the back of your mobile phones and computers and stuff, and for your kids and grandkids. Well, I would agree with that. And I heard you say something about a sore knee. What was that about? Well, you're asking me if I think that this product could help the discomfort in your knee. And well, you've heard Frank's testimony on his back, and you've heard mine about my shoulder. And if it worked for us, I don't see any reason why it wouldn't work for you. And some other people that are probably hurting too, huh? Is that what you're telling me? Well, great. Well, I know Frank well enough to know that he doesn't dislike anybody, especially you, Aunt Susie, enough to make them pay retail. And you'd much rather pay wholesale than retail, wouldn't you, Aunt Susie? Okay, that was a silly question. Anyway, is there any reason that maybe you couldn't get online and we just walk you through that joining process and get you that product coming in, and it'll be in the next 5 to 7 business days, it'll be at your house, and we'll help you with exactly what you do with it, where you place it and use it and all of that? Great. Just go to that email that Frank sent you and click on this link, and I'll walk you right through the process now. Process is done. Well, hey, I really appreciate your time, and I'm looking forward to working with you and helping with you all you can. And anyway, so I guess I'll turn this back over to Frank. And hey, Aunt Susie, I really appreciate your talking to Joe. And can I talk to you tomorrow about this? I can. Thanks. Talk to you later. Bye. What did I do? I mean, really, what did I do? I got excited. I used the product. I made a list. I introed it in less than 3 minutes to somebody who said, I'll look at it. I did a 3-way phone call where I introduced somebody and was quiet and listened and learned so that I could maybe eventually start taking that role over for people in my downline. But I know Joe, he's going to continue to help everybody until I feel comfortable doing it. And when I feel comfortable doing it, hey, I'll get better. And I'll get better, and I'll get better. The more you do them, whether you are doing them with somebody for yourself or whether you're doing them for other people, each time you do a 3-way phone call, you will get better. And no, we do not put 100% of the people in immediately. But you know what? The more you do it, the better you get, the better your results are. And all you do is repeat this process. I'm going to suggest one thing to everybody right now. Make a goal. Make a goal. This is the last thing I'm going to say. Make a goal. Set a goal that you're going to do enough intro calls to set up 10 3-way phone calls. And I don't care if you're brand new in the business or if you are experienced, because the 3-way phone call that is always better than your perspective on it. Do enough phone calls where you can do 10 3-way phone calls with somebody in your line of sponsorship that you'd like to get with and do those till. Do 10. If you will do that between now and the next training call, your business will have grown and you will have learned a lot and you will have more confidence and you will have earned money. Now, with that, I get to be able to actually turn this call back over for about 7 minutes to Keith Bradford, who I started working with, and in his first 90 days of business, he reached the Platinum Elite level. He also turned 74 years old, and I'll tell you, he is absolutely awesome. So, Keith, take it away.
Frank, thank you very much, man. That was awesome training you just gave us all, and I know we all can follow those simple steps with that great tutorial that you laid out for us. And I just want to dove off of that by saying that has been the biggest point for me to see some measures of success in the right direction of building and recruiting into the business, certainly selling product, because my whole thing is motivated by product. And Frank has been such a tremendous help in sharing his story with many of my friends. In most cases, they became a customer at least, and some are also adding to their customer purchase with efforts to build a business for themselves and earn money. And that's what it's all about. Just quickly, I want to say that I got 9 quick things to list. I'm not going to talk 9 minutes on each one. So I'm going to give you the 9 things right now to help you with what I think, in addition to what we've just said about three-way calling. Number 1, be hungry. This is overall, be hungry about these 9 things. Be hungry about the company that you're affiliated with. Be hungry about the knowledge of the products. Be a user and a believer. Be hungry about the compensation plan. Understand it. Be hungry about knowledge for the company leaders, and then be hungry about information about your upline, including your sponsor. Be hungry for the tools, mine and yours, the tool chest and what you need to have in your tool chest to do a good job. You know, if the tools are good, the job can be done well. Number 7 is just be a problem solver. And number 8 is to be good at crisis management. And 9 is to be good at time management, and gain more knowledge about each and every one of these points. Again, time management was always a very important thing for me to learn to apply in this business that I was in with Frank. Of course, he's on a different time frame, different time zone than I. He had to coordinate in his life with mine in my life in a different time zone to do the calls that we might do it at a third time zone in California, which we did. And these things are time management issues that you need to know something about. You need to kind of understand. And so one quote that I learned, fortunately, many years ago that I'd like to slowly give you. I do have plenty of time left in my 6 or 7 minutes. And here's the quote. Quote, "It is what I learned after I thought I knew it all that has made the most difference in the successes in my life." You know, I'm sure you, like I, have reached places where you think, well, I know all there is to know about that, right? And we just stop learning about that because we think we know it all. Well, it's the clues that come right after that point when we reopen our mind to new thinking, to get some new information, new facts, that we can go way past where we were hung up in our decline of activity with lacking some kind of powerful knowledge. Now, we all know that knowledge is power, so God, teaches us that we need to have the knowledge to have the power. And we're transformed through the renewing of our mind. So let's get our heads right. And attitude, of course, is the bottom line that wraps up everything, like Frank touched on so well. Having the attitude that's, a leader that has an attitude like Frank got in the military or brought into the military and survived it to bring into this industry. And then now your sponsor, my sponsor, your leader, your trainer, your speaker today on this phone call that'll be recorded for you to use from now on, Frank. And again, thank you for that. So three-way phone calls was highlighted in my tool chest, Frank, when you began talking about tool chest. I thought that's pretty neat. He and I are on the same page there, literally. And I would say, taking out of tools, which tool is the most valuable tool for me is three-way calling. And I've used it, and Frank and I have used it effectively with all the things he just mentioned to you just a moment ago. And look, if you've got a sponsor or an upline that has that experience and confidence, if you will, and is willing to give you that is a tool that you're putting in your toolbox. But if you block it for whatever reasons, you get a bad attitude because you got a toenail ache or whatever, you know, and you think, well, I can't use, you know, him or that or her because of this or that. That's your problem. You got to eliminate that out of your thinking to open up your positive flow of energy, and then use the three-way call. Man, look, Frank, you did a great job about being excited. You know what? I'm pretty excited every time I can take a breath these days. I'm 74 years young. I expect to go to 174. Well, I don't want to go quite that far. But anyway, we've got to believe for something in the future is better than what we've got today. Am I right? We can be better than where we are now if we change. The only thing that will not happen is change won't bring newness for life unless you make the change and start it. And the new action, 1 foot, 1 step at a time. And the old saying, you know, how do you eat an elephant? 1 step, 1 bite at a time. Boy, that's a good one, isn't it? So go back to all your school, all your grade school and your nursery songs or anything else, and realize so many of those things could be applicable today to give you a boost in your AEGEA business, and go to the top of the marketing plan and build your bank account where you need it to be to enjoy the rest of your life. And that's the end of my 66 minutes and 40 something. And I'm stopping my stopwatch and turning it back to you, Frank.
You did absolutely awesome, Keith. And you know what? I have another very good friend, someone I've known for 15 or more years. And in fact, it took AEGEA to have an event in Atlanta, Georgia, to ever make us actually get face to face. And because we had built a great relationship, but we had never seen each other. But to be able to give him a hug when we saw him in Atlanta was absolutely awesome. He's an individual that has had multiple experiences and very profitable in network marketing in the past. He's decided to lay his roots down here in AEGEA. And I'll tell you, he can be one of the best business builders to help with people with three-way phone calls. And I know he has done them many, many times in his own business. And all the things that we've just talked about, he'll utilize. And what we get to have now is you had somebody from mid-Florida, you had somebody from Louisiana, now you got somebody from the coal country up there in Nova Scotia, Canada, that's going to be able to give you his thoughts of how to build a successful business here in AEGEA. So if you'll sort of take that away, Louis, that would be great.
Thank you, Frank. Great to be on the call again this morning. And yes, it was very nice meeting you, as well as the management and some of the people that are involved with this company. It has truly been a blessing in my life. Keith, you reminded me when you said about learning. I remember my grandfather was 98, I think, when he passed away. And he always said to me, when you stop learning, you're going to be in trouble. So when you stop learning, you're going to be in trouble. And I'm one, when I first heard, I was blessed, I guess, to have read quite a bit about frequencies and scalar energy and this type of stuff. And when Frank was telling me what had happened to him, I said, okay, send me the website. I ordered the products right away, and it's truly been a blessing in my life. I know, and I've been networking for a few years. I've had some success in some products and some not. And I think a lot of us don't realize what we have our hands on here. And sometimes it's hard to explain to people. So what I try to do is I try to ask some questions. And most people have some concerns. It may be detox, weight loss, energy, sleep problems. It don't matter what it is. I try and key in on that and hopefully, find a solution for them. So I'll say something like, well, let me ask you, if you could use a product where you don't have to take anything and it could help you, you'd be interested in having a look at it, wouldn't you? And I'll wait for their response. Those of you that are just starting new, sometimes when you start, you may talk to the first 5 people about this and they're all over the product. You may talk to 10 and none of them are interested. You just keep doing it. It's called the law of averages. The odds are, if you keep telling and you get better at what you do, and you get better at what you do, and you have more people getting registered, what I'm finding with these products is everyone, I don't want to get into each individual product, but here about probably about 10 years ago, there was a chap I listened to. He was a scientist dealing with toxins and heavy metals. And he said the average person, if you live on this earth, the average person will ingest over 28 pounds per year of toxins, pesticides, insecticides, et cetera, et cetera. So when I saw the burn, not only for weight loss, but for detox, to get rid of some of this garbage that's, accumulates in our bodies. I know our kidneys and liver and so on will get rid of some of it. Some do get stuck. And to have something just stick on your body to help with this has been totally amazing. One of the best, every product is good. The nitric oxide truly been a blessing in my life as well. And and I'm wondering, like, how does it work? Where does it come from, etc. If you go to PubMed, PubMed, PubMed.com, and just type in nitric oxide, there's 162,000 documented research studies on nitric oxide. Here we have a little pack that you put on you to get the benefits of nitric oxide. It's just amazing. You probably could read for the next 6 months. It's very scientific, but it's all proven benefits from all this stuff. The other thing I want to share with you, when I'm looking at the different products and people say, well, how does it work and what does it work? How exactly does it work? I said to a chap yesterday, I said, it works very, very good. All the products work really good. I said, let me give you an example. I said, really hard to explain, but I said, now don't try this, because you'll hurt yourself. But I said, if you climb on the roof and you jump, you're going to hit the ground. It's called magnetism. Nobody has seen it, but it does exist. It keeps us grounded. You turn the light switch on, the light bulb comes on. How does it work? Nobody's seen electricity, but we do know that it works. The other thing that I'm finding with these problems, I don't have time to get into closing, just asking different questions, from what you've seen so far. Do you have any questions? And answer the question and say, well, let me ask you, from different packages that we have, which one today would feel best for you? And if they say, well, the $4.99 or, and I'll go over the different packages and the benefits of the different packages. And they're telling you they're interested. Then I'll say, well, do you want to use your Visa or MasterCard? And then let them respond and say, well, I'll use the Visa. You're on a computer, do it up. Get them registered, get some products in their hand, and so on. And make sure you follow up. The other thing I'm finding with the products is that some people probably ask you, well, which one is the best? Which one? I mean, they're all. The Quantum Card, this totally, totally amazing. If I'm in a restaurant, a coffee shop, if I'm near somebody, matter of fact, I did this at the farmer's market this morning. And, say you wear this card on your neck or whatever, wherever you have some discomfort. Totally, totally amazing. I find with these products, it's like a layered protection from electromagnetic frequencies, electromagnetic radiation, detox in the whole body to protect ourselves. By layered protection, if you think of your automobile, and most people don't realize this, you have layered protection in your automobile. Now, again, don't try this afternoon, but it does work. If you're in a head-on collision, for example, first thing happens, the airbag explodes. That's one layer. Then the next is the hoods of our cars are designed that they'll actually buckle so that the hood doesn't come through the windshield. The windshield, we have safety glass. The engines in the front are designed in our cars. If you're in a head-on collision, it breaks off and goes underneath the car, the engine and the transmission, so it doesn't come in through the passenger side, through the firewall. So you have layered protection in our vehicles. You know, now they have side airbags and they have all these gadgets and buzzers and stuff. So I find with these products is a layered protection from your phones to your body, to help you sleep, et cetera, et cetera. And I'm going to stop. I've gone over my time, Frank. So thank you for the opportunity to share some ideas.
Hey, I really do appreciate that. And you know, out of the people in my group, if I need to know something more about a product, I usually go to Lewis. He has a lot of experience in the past that sort of comes up and works well here. Anyway, just to recap, get excited, get the product, make a list, intro calls, do at least enough to get 10 three-way phone calls for the next week between now and the next time we meet here on next Saturday, and just repeat that process. Do it over and over and over again. We appreciate all of you for coming on today. So you have a wonderful weekend. And again, we appreciate your time. Take care. Bye-bye.